Parshas Toldos, we continue with our story of Yitzchak, Avimelech. Okay. We are chapter 26, verse number 30. V'yas lahem, and he made for them mishte, a feast. V'yochlu, and they ate. V'yishtu, and they drank. Right, this they made a covenant between them, Avimelech and Yitzchak, a peaceful covenant, right? And now they feasted. V'yashkimu ba'boker, and they got up in the morning. V'yishavu, and they made an oath, ish la'achiv, a man to his brother. That's the literal translation. V'yishalchem Yitzchak, and he sent them away. Yitzchak sent them away. V'yelchu, and they went mita v'shalom, and they went departed from him in peace. They went in peace. And it was on that day, and they came, Avdi Yitzchak, the servants of Yitzchak, and they told to him, Al Eidas Haber, concerning the wellspring, Asher Chafaru, that they had dug, and they said to him, Matzana water, Mayim, we found water. Shiva, and he named the well Shiva. Al-Kain, therefore, Shem Ha'ir, because of the well, so the name of the city is Beersheba, which, by the way, it's called today, Beersheba. Ada Yemazeh, and guess what the verse says? Until this very day. Can you imagine that? Right? Rashi, Shiva, Al-Shem Habris, on the account of the covenant, the treaty that they made between them. Meaning, the Shavua, is the same letters as Sheva, 7, which means an oath, right? Their covenant and the treaty that they made between them was an oath, right? So it's the Beer Sheva. It is the well. Bear means well. Sheva, of the oath. The well of the oath. 34, Vayhi Esav ben Arbaim Shana, and it was Esav was 40 years old. V'yikach Ishan, he took a wife as Yehudis. He took Yehudis bas Be'eri, the daughter of Be'eri Achiti, the Chiti, the Hittite. Bas Elon Achiti, and also Bas, the daughter of Elon the Chiti. Rashi ben Arbaim Shana. So Rashi is why does the verse tell us that he was 40 years old? Why is that important to know? 34. Then Rashi says Esav is compared to a pig, to a swine. As it says, a swine of the woods shall devour it. This Esav, who is similar to a swine. Why? Because when he lies down, he stretches out his hooves, Laimar, to say, Ruani Tahar, see, I'm pure, right? Because he's got split hooves. A pig has split hooves. Likewise, the descendants of Esav, which is Rome, they rob and take forcibly, and they display themselves as a decent, right? Like Esav, sticking out his foot, look at me, right? So, in other words, you're not kosher, but that's hidden because he doesn't chew his cud, the pig, so it's not kosher, but it displays its split hooves, showing that it's kosher, right? And that's the way of Esav, of Rome and the Western civilization. Kol Arbaim Shana, first 40 years of his life, Esav would snatch women away from their husbands and violate them. Kishaya ben Arbaim, when he became 40 years old, Amar, Abba ben Arbaim Shana Nasa Isha, my father married When he was 40 years old, Afani can I'll also do so. Oh, look how kosher I am.
That's because he got married at the same age as his father.
Well, no, in others for 40 years he was violating women.
He was scoundrel.
Yeah. And now, oh, look how kosher I am. I'm gonna marry a woman at 40. Like my father. I'm like my father. Such a good guy. Okay. Verse 35 in chapter 26. Now we've got the story of Yitzchak getting old and he's going to give the blessings. Fascinating story. Hold on to the edge of your seats. Matiena Meiras Ruach Yitzchak Rivka. Actually, it's the next verse, but yeah. No, it's not this verse, in the following verse. And their wives were spiritually rebellious towards Yitzchak and Rivka. Meiras Ruach. Rashi in 35, provocation of spirit is what those words mean. Loshen amaris ruach means a rebellious, right? Of spirit. Kamay mamri ma'isim, as you have been rebels, v'chol ma'aseim, and all the actions of Esav's wives, Ayula, Yitzavain, was to cause anguish, Yitzchak and Rivka, to Yitzchak and Rivka. Because they worship idols, right? Okay, now, sir. Chapter 27, verse 1. He Kizok Yitzchak, and Yitzchak became old, and Mirais, and his eyesight was dimmed from seeing. V'ikra and he called to Esav ben Yagodl, his older son. And he said to him, Beni, my son. And he said, Here I am. Rashi. So Rashi brings up the words that his eyesight that became dimmed. How did it become dim? So Rashi says, Ba'ashan Shalelu, right? By the smoke of the wives of Esav, they would raise smoke, make potatoes from the burning of incense, Avodah Zorah, from idolatry. From that smoke, it blinded him. Right, that's the juxtaposition of the previous verse to this one. Davar acher, alternative explanation. When he was bound on the altar, right, when his father, Aviv, and his father wanted to slaughter him, at that time, heavens were opened, and the ministering angels saw what was happening, and they were crying. And their tears descended, and fell on Yitzchak's eyes. That's why his eyes became dim as a result. That's a second explanation. And a third explanation, I don't think it doesn't mean in a literal sense, but whatever it means, it means. Why were his eyes dim? Kadesh Yitel Yaakov is a brachas in order that Yaakov should be able to take the blessings of the firstborn. Right, he was blind, so therefore, when Yaakov came and took the blessings, right? Yitzchak, if he would have been able to see, he would have been able to see that it wasn't Esav, but Yaakov. That's the third. Now, of course, there's a sichon by the Rebbe over here explaining why we need all three, and so on. Okay, verse number 2. And he said, Hine no zekanti. So Yitzchak is now speaking to Esav. And he said, Behold, I am now old, grown old. Lo yadaiti and I don't know the day of my death. Rashi in verse number 2. Lo yadaiti I don't know the day of my death. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, Yeshua the son of Karcha said, when a person reaches his parents' age, right, when the age of when they died, Yidak, he should worry. 5 years before the passing of the parent. And 5 years after the passing. Yitzchak came, Ben Meya Ve'esrim V'Shalosh, and Yitzchak was 123 years old at this point. right? He lived to 180, but at this point he was 123. Omar, and he said, Shema leperakimi ani magia. Maybe I'm only going to reach my mother's age. The Hebas may have asked him, and she was 127, and he's 123, so he's within the 5 years. And I'm 5 years within her, the time of her passing. Therefore, Yitzchak said, and I don't know the day of my death. I might be the age of my mother. I might be, though, to the age of my father. In the end, he was 5 years past his father. Precisely.
You can make a huge difference.
Nice.
Our annual matching campaign.
Sorry about that. Okay. And now, Sonai, lift up, please, Kelecha. Lift up, Kelecha, your weapons. So it means to lift up, but in the context, it means to sharpen your weapons. Te'elcha v'kashtecha, your sword and your bow. V'tzei hasad, and go out into the field. V'tzud alit side, and trap for me some game. Rashi in 3. Sona. Sharpen, please. Lashon hashchaza, this honing. Ka'isa sheshaninu, like we have learned in the Mishnah, ein mashchizim esasakin, you do not hone the knife on the holiday. Aval nisiya al gabi chaverta, but you may sharpen it upon another. It's just giving an example that it means to sharpen, because usually the word means saw, it means to uplift. Chaded sakincha. So Yitzchak is saying to Esav, sharpen your knife, that you should slaughter properly. You shouldn't feed me an unslaughtered carcass. Right? Telcha literally means a hanging thing. Right? What is a hanging thing? Charbacha, your sword. It's common practice to let it hang from the belt. That is in reference to a sword. Tzudali, Tzayid, catch for me a game. Mina hefker, from ownerless. V'loi mina gezel, and not from that which is stolen. Okay. Verse number 4 rather. Yeah, we're good? Suli matame, make for me delicacies, kasher ahafti, that I love. Yeah, that according to that which I like. Veheviali, and bring it to me. Va'oichela, and I will eat it. Vavor, in order to varechacha, that I should bless you. Nafshi, my soul should bless you. But teramamas, before I pass on. Right? We have this in if you recall, in I think it's chapter 27 in Tanya. Make delicacies, plural. You recall. Okay, verse 5. Rivka Shemas, and Rivka heard V'daber Yitzchak and Esav, in the speaking of Yitzchak to Esav, Benai, his son. V'yelech Esav, and Esav went out. Letzud Hasada, to the field. Letzud Tzayed, to hunt for trappings. Lahavi, to bring home. Letzud Tzayed Lahavi. Mahu Lahavi. What do you mean to bring? He's not going to find ownerless game, so he's going to take it from stolen property. In other words, Lavi, whatever I got to bring, I'll bring. Right? He wants to what's the word I'm looking for, to to make sure, whatever it takes, right? But Rivka Amra, and Rivka said El Yaakov to Yaakov and her son, Lamor, saying, Hine, behold, Shemaiti, I heard Avicha, your father Medaber, speaking. El Esav to Esav Achicha, your brother Lamor, saying, yeah. Verse 7, Aviyali Tzayid Vasili Matamim, bring from me game and huntings, game, right? Vasili Matamim, and I will make for you delicate and prepare for me delicacies. And I will eat it. And I'll bless you Lifnei Hashem, before God, Lifnei Maisi, before I pass on. Lifnei Hashem Birishusai. She asked him Al Yodi. What does it mean before God? Everything's before God, meaning with God's permission that He will agree to what I do. It's interesting. I don't recall that he said it that way, but she added that before God, and others with God's permission. So now she says, "Bata b'ni," and now b'ni, my son, Shema b'kele, listen to my voice, listen to what I say. Lamor saying, la'asher ani mitzaveh, that which I'm commanding you to do. Right, listen, lech, go, no, please. El hatzayin, to the flock, to the sheep. V'kach limisham, and bring from me there, from there, shnei gedoim, two kid goats, izim tovim, that are good, delicacies. Sorry, that are good, choice ones, right? And I will make for you delicacies, lavicha, for your father, that he likes. Wife's cooking. She knows what he likes. Verse number 9 in Rashi, Kachli, go take for me, meaning fetch for me, Shalihaim, they are mine, Venam Gezel, they're not stolen. Shikach Kasav La Yitzchak Miksubosa, because Yitzchak had written, stipulated in the marriage contract, Litosh Negedaya, him to take two goats, every day, 2 goats every day. So she's taking that which is hers. That's what, Rashi's saying that's what was written next to, because everything, it was, the wealth was his. So Rashi's bother, Kachli, take from me that which is mine. How does she have? He has the wealth. It's not hers. So in the, that's what Rashi is explaining, that in the ksuba, in the marriage contract, it is written that she gets 2 goats every day. Right? Yeah, I don't know if she's feeding with 2 goats exactly. That's a lot. That's a lot of meat. All right. In any case, just bringing that, take that which is mine. So how's it hers? Right? Back in the day, who did things belong to? To the man, right? So because that's in the ksuba that she prepares every day. Okay. Shnei gedayizim, 2 choice goats, young goats. Shnei gedayizim haya machal b'shalitza. Were 2 goats the food of Yitzchak? He would eat so much. But it was Pesach. One, he would bring as a Paschal lamb offering. And the other, also matami, make delicacies. Rabbi Eliezer is found in Medrash. Kasher Ahiv, that he loves. Kitam Hagidi, because the flavor of the kid goat. Kitam Matzvi is like the flavor of deer. Goats you don't really game. Deer you do, right? Because goats, they're not really moving around, right? They're with the herd of a shepherd. So you're not gaming them. But deer you would game because they're wild, right? They're not domesticated. So that's why, so you're saying, So how could you bring two goats? He just said to go gaming. So it would not be goats you're getting. That's not gaming, right? There's no hunt there.
Tastes the same.
Huh?
Tastes the same.
Oh, that's what Rashi says. They taste the same.
I
Exactly.
had both and I don't mind the chase the same.
Huh?
I had both. I had deer years ago and goat is a common thing in Trinidad.
All right. I have no
It was
answer.
so,
Well, it might have been flavored different,
Yeah, I guess.
could be. Okay.
Cook it.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. All right. 10. And you will bring it to your father, and he will eat. In order that he should bless you before he passes on. Yaakov, now Yaakov responds, El Rivka to Rivka, his mother. Hein Esav Ochi, Ish Sa'ir Ish Chala. However, he says, Esav is my brother who is very hairy, and me, I'm very smooth skinned. Ish Sa'ir Baal Sa'ir, a hairy man. Rashi 12, Ulai Sheni, perhaps he will touch me, Avi, my father, and I'll be in his eyes, Kimasmateya, like an imposter, like Lola, and I'll bring upon myself a curse and not a blessing. Rashi, Sheni, that he will touch me, Mimashesh B'tzarayim. You will grope at midday. Okay. So he's afraid. Maybe he's going to touch me. So she said to him, Ima, his mother, it's upon me your curse, Bini, my son. However, listen to my voice, listen to my words. It literally means voice, but yeah. Lech kachli, go and bring for me. He went and he took and he brought to his mother. And his mother made matamim delicacies kasher aviv as his father to his father's liking. Verse number 15. Vatikach Rivka took his big day Esav, the clothing of Esav Binah, her son. Hagadol, the older one. Hamudais. Rashi's going to say the clean. Oh, see, it's really like coveted. So coveted, clean clothes are coveted clothes, right? Asher Ita, that Babai said were with her in the house with Til Bashis Yaakov and Cotton, and she put them on her younger son Yaakov. Rashi, Hachamudas and Nikiyos, that they're clean. It's the way it's translated Targuma Dach Yoso. Alternative explanation why they call Chamudei Shechamad Oisam Nimrai, because we're coveted then from Nimrai. In other words, Esav took them from Nimrai because Esav coveted them, his clothing. So now she's putting this on Yaakov, right? There's and placed the kid goat's skins. They'll be shal yadav and place him on his arms. Balchel kisavarav and the smooth part of his neck. Matamim. Also sabiyad Yaakov bina, and she gave the delicacies and the bread that she made in the hand of Yaakov, her son. 18, and he came El Aviv to his father, and he said, Father, mi'ata beni. Okay. So So she gave him the delicacies, right? Prepare. V'yavai el Aviv, and he came to his father. V'yomer Avi, and he said, Avi, father. V'yomer hinene, father responded, behold, mi'ata b'ni, who are you, my son? V'yomer Yaakov el Aviv, and Yaakov said to his father, Anechi, Esa, b'charecha. I am Esa, your firstborn. I did according to what you told me. Kum, get up. No, please. Shva, be seated. Va'achla, and eat. Mitzaydi, from my gaming. Ba'avur, in order to b'achini nafshecha, that you should bless me, your soul's blessings. Rashi 19. I am the one who's bringing you the food, and Esav is your firstborn. So he said it in such a way that it wouldn't be he's lying, right? Anoichi, I am the one bringing you the food, and Esav is your firstborn. Asisi, several things that you spoke to me at that time. Yeah.
Why Anochi and not Ani?
What?
Why did he say Anochi? Anochi instead of Ani? Is that how they spoke in those days?
Good question.
Anochi.
I don't I think it's just like a stronger emphasis.
But that's Egyptian. That's wrong.
Good question. Not exactly clear, but so so I am Esav, yeah, so I'm the one bringing it to you, and Esav is your first son. CC, the several things that you told me to do. Shva, Lashem Esav al shulchan, meaning sitting at the table. The Kach, Meturgam, is Tachar. And that's the Unclus how it translates. V'yomer Yitzchak el Benoi, and Yitzchak said to his Yitzchak v'yomer. So Yitzchak el Benoi, and Yitzchak said to his son, Maz miharta, what is this that you were so quick? Limtzai b'ni, that you found my son. V'yomer ki hikra Hashem elokecha lefanai, because God, your God, arranged for me that it should happen. Yemi, it's like Yaakov, and Yitzchak said to Yaakov, Gishana, come close to me, and I will touch you. Beni, my son, ha'atazeh, if this is indeed Beni, my son, ve'imloi, whether you are or not my son. Esav, Yishan, come close that I can touch you. In verse 21, Yitzchak said in his heart, it's not the way of Esav to practice Yoshem Shamayim, that the name of heaven, Shagabipiv, should be fluent on his mouth. Right? They're mentioning God in conversation. That's not the way of Esav. And yet this one says, Ki Hikra Hashem, Kecha, Hashem, your God, arranged it, right? Doesn't sound like that son. Oops. $22. Yeah. The Yigash Yaakov, and Yaakov came close, held Yitzchak, Aviv to Yitzchak, his father, Shehu, and he touched him. But Yemer, he said, Hakel called Yaakov, the voice is the voice of Yaakov, Yadayim, Yadei Esav, and the hands are the hands of Esav. Rashi, Akol Yaakov, the voice of Yaakov, Shemidaber B'loshin Chanunu, because he's speaking with a supplicatory, polite manner. Kumna, get up, please. Aval Esav, kan Toria diba Yaakov Maneichi, but Esav speaks in a Yeah, rough. Okay. So he's speaking in a polite manner. Right, and Esav doesn't speak. He just says, arise, father. He didn't recognize him because his hands were like the hands of Esav. So he, like his brother, so he went and proceeded to give him a blessing. And he said, Ata zebni Esav. So this is really my son Esav, and he said, I am. Rashi b'yemani lo yamar ani Esav ela ani. He didn't say that I am Esav, just I am, right? And he said, come close to me, and I will partake, I'll eat from the gaming, my son, in order that I should bless you, nafshi, my soul. And he came close to me, and he ate. And he gave him wine and he drank. And Yitzhak said to him, Aviv, Yishon, come close and kiss me, my son. And he came close and he kissed him. And Yitzhak smelled the fragrance of his garment. And he blessed him. And he said, see the um, hmm. Yeah, she got there. So he came from the Yarach and he smelled his clothing and he blessed him. See, the fragrance of my son is like the fragrance of the field that God has blessed. Rashi, last Rashi v'yarach. So and he smelled Alai ein reach ra yosemi isn't it a terrible smell, the goat's hair? And so teaches us that the fragrance of Gan Eden entered with Yaakov. Like the fragrance of the field that God has blessed. He gave a good smell, which is a field of apples. That's how our sages explained this. Wow. Okay, we're not finished. Interesting how we. Tomorrow will be the actual blessings. Okay, stay tuned. I don't know, it'll be tomorrow because I'm going to be at the Ohel at this time. I won't be doing it here. You'll be doing it. You'll do it here, but maybe I'll be doing it